Hello watch fans, this is Anders here on Time and Crown channel. It is that time of year, the tradition here on Time and Crown channel for the 7th year in a row. State of my watch collection end of year 2023. So this video is getting into the 21 watches which is part of my main collection. And I did sell a bunch of watches as well, which I'm going to tell you about during this video. So let's start with the first watch in my collection, and this is a watch I bought this year. This is a Glycine Combat Sub. This is the kind of James Bondy version with the black dial, color matched date wheel. Definitely a watch I can recommend. You can see the full review of this watch here on my channel. Let's move on to the first tray, which is the upper tray of my big watch box. And the first one is another purchase from this year. This is the brand new Satina DS7 integrated bracelet with the kind of Tiffany blue greenish dial. Of course, I also did a full review of this watch. This is kind of competing with the sister company Tissot PRX, also a Powermatic movement. The watch wears really nicely on the wrist, quite thin, not too big, and is a very interesting choice if you want one of these integrated bracelet watches and one of these colorful sports watches. I think that the bracelet is better than on the Tissot PRX, and on the wrist, you can see it looks great. Fun watch. This is probably a watch that will leave my collection at some point, but fun watch to have in my collection now. Full review on the channel of this watch as well. The next watch here is from the same family as Satina. This is the Longines Hydro Conquest Japan Blackout Edition. This is a very limited to only approximately 500 examples of a completely blacked out Hydro Conquest that they did only for the Japanese market. I was very lucky to find this, and I put it on this nice green rubber strap here. The interesting thing with this watch is that it's kind of a fusion between old and new Hydro Conquest. So you got some design features from the old Hydro Conquest, which was introduced in 2007. And then you get some of the new design elements from the newer ceramic Hydro Conquest, which were introduced in 2018, I believe. Very interesting watch, and a kind of military tactical looking dive watch. On the wrist it wears really nicely. I have a 17.5 centimeter circumference wrist, and the black case, dial and ceramic bezel insert just looks great. It did come on a PVD treated black bracelet, but I do prefer it on this rubber strap here. Staying in the family, this is the beautiful 2022 Longines Heritage watch. This is a beautiful slim automatic watch with 70 hours of power reserve, 72 hours actually I believe. It comes in different color variations. I opted for the 40mm version with the beautiful green dial and the Roman numerals on the green crocodile strap. Just such a cool everyday piece, and also a beautiful dress watch. I do enjoy the green on this watch because it's very different from a lot of other green watches. Usually these green watches, they are just very pronounced in the green color. This is a much more subdued green color, and in lower light situations the dial becomes almost black. Wears very slim, approximately 10 millimeters thick, and here we have the beautiful Longines L888 movement, super accurate, really nicely finished. This is by all standards a luxury watch, and you pay a little more than $2,000 for these watches. I think it's a beautiful quality watch. Definitely a watch that I don't wear as much as I would like to, but it's a very nice watch to wear and a high quality watch also. And talking about classy watches, this beautiful Grand Seiko. I really do enjoy this beautiful watch. Again, I don't wear it as much as I would like to, and maybe it's just because these very classy, more simple dress style watches simply isn't something that I find too many occasions to wear. But this is a high-end luxury watch. This is kind of the affordable Patek Philippe Calatrava in my opinion. Beautiful watch, beautiful Serrato finishing. You just see how beautiful the polishing on the hour markings. They play with the light, as well as these beautifully polished hands and the beautiful Serrato polishing on the case. amazing finishing. Comes on a crocodile strap from Grand Seiko. It is only 37 millimeters in diameter, and I was a little bit anxious because I bought it online from Japan if it was too small for me, but it wears perfectly. This is the perfect size for a dress watch in my opinion, and here you see it on my wrist. I do really enjoy this kind of cream colored dial, really classy made, and not too much printing or writing on the dial, just the Grand Seiko logo and then Grand Seiko manual wound movement, which is a beautiful movement. And staying with Grand Seiko, this is my Grand Seiko Snowflake. This is maybe the most legendary Grand Seiko watch ever made, and that is of course because it was this beautiful dial they introduced and the spring drive movement, which is kind of a fusion between automatic mechanical movements and quartz movements. Super accurate, really nice to wear. It feels extremely light on the wrist. It could be a little bit smaller, I think. It is probably a sports watch, but it's also a dress watch, so it's kind of a fusion between dress and sport, kind of like with the Longines watch, but even more so because you get the power reserve and you get 100 meters of water resistance. Now also a microbrand watch found its way to my collection in 2023, and that was the dren Pathfinder. I was just researching different watches and I stumbled upon this dren Pathfinder, a small microbrand from the US, and I must say the overall specifications and the look and feel of the watch, it was just amazing. I believe I paid approximately $303 or $350 for this watch. It's powered by a Miyota 9039 no date high beat movement. I do love these Miyota movements. Beautiful dome sapphire crystal ceramic insert, really nice bracelet, great blue look. And I think what kind of appealed to me with this watch was actually that it kind of reminds me of my old Takoya Aquaracer. I had the blue one with the aluminium bezel insert on the oyster style bracelet with the date, but the sunburst blue dial and with the orange tip on the second hand. A watch I owned twice, but it simply doesn't fit into my collection anymore. But I still do have warm feelings towards that watch, and maybe it was just me trying to get that feeling back with this watch, which kind of resembles the Takoya watch. So earlier this year I was very fortunate to be able to actually borrow the new Tissot PRX from Swatch Group here in Denmark to review on my channel and on my website timeandcrown.dk, and I just fell in love with the watch. I got different color variations and I tried both the 35mm and the 40mm, and I must say I was just looking very much at the gold version, and it just completely took my breath away when I saw it in real life, and I decided to buy it. I put it on a deluxe green rubber strap, which is custom made for this watch, and I think the combination is just beautiful. It comes on a stainless steel integrated bracelet, so you can also put it on a bracelet if you want the more stainless steel or gold look. And here you see the case back, a Powermatic 80 movement, so it's not too much about the movement, it is very much about the design and the dial. And I do love this beautiful waffle dial or Claudie Barry dial with these beautiful squares, the beautiful slight sunburst effect. So the 40mm version wears much bigger than a 40mm watch, but if you put it on a rubber strap, and you can buy Tissot rubber straps or leather straps on their website, it wears smaller. And I do really like the green and gold look of this watch. A really great dressy sports watch, and maybe one of the best offerings if you want a great Swiss made sports dress everyday watch from a renowned brand as Tissot, which is owned by Swatch Group, for less than $1,000. I can definitely recommend this watch. This is of course also reviewed here on my channel. You can find the review in my archives. Now moving on from something that looks high-end but isn't high-end, which is kind of in the affordable range of automatic Swiss watches, to something that is high-end watches. And this is my Piaget Polo S. This beautiful watch introduced a few years ago, which is kind of a remake of their Polo watch from the 70s in a modern setting. Kind of reminds me a little of the Patek Philippe Aquanaut, but it's very much its own, Piaget being a high horology brand. Beautiful watch. I opted for the white dial because The problem with these watches is that they do not color match the date wheel, and I think it looks not very good with the white date wheel on the black, green, blue, and so on and so forth, as well as the white color just being a really classy color for these high-end watches. I'm super happy and fortunate to be able to own this beautiful high horology piece. It is 42 millimeters in diameter, but it wears smaller because it has a very short lock-to-lock distance of just approximately 46 millimeters, and it is less than 10 millimeters thick. Let's just have a closer look. The beautiful dial, beautiful brushing on the bezel. Everything just screams top quality with this watch. And here you see the in-house movement, which is kind of a remade Cartier movement, but they're owned by the same company, so it is technically an in-house movement. Beautifully made. And although it is a 42.5 millimeter big watch, you see it wears amazingly on the wrist. It just screams and oozes class, and I'm so fortunate to be able to own this watch. It's not a watch that I wear too much, but whenever I wear it, I just super much enjoy this watch. This is a classy piece in my opinion. And now to another big brand in the Swiss watch industry. This is Zenith. This is the very first Zenith that I own ever, and this is of course the Zenith El Primero. The Zenith El Primero original 1969 in the original 38mm big case. I paired it with this beautiful blue crocodile leather strap. This watch is from 2015. Runs greatly, 4 seconds plus per day. This is the beautiful and historic El Primero movement from Zenith. A high beat movement, chronograph movement, beating at 36,000 vibrations per hour. The legendary layout of the dial. Just an amazing watch. And I did buy this watch quite late this year. This is my second latest purchase. The Cetina is my latest. And I must say, since I bought it, this is the most worn watch in my collection. And was just thinking the other day, right now I feel that if I only could own one watch, this would be it. It's the perfect sports watch, 100 meters of water resistance, great lume, all the features you want from a chronograph, date window, the beautiful El Primero movement here, automatic, you see the wheels, the blue screws. Amazing watch. This big boxed and domed sapphire crystal. And on my 17.5 centimeter wrist circumference, the El Primero, it just wears perfectly. It's just approximately 46 millimeters from lock tip to lock tip, and it just wears amazing. A little more than 12 millimeters in thickness, and just 38 millimeters in diameter, so it's a perfect size for a lot of wrists. And it is the original size of this watch, so definitely one of my favorites already. Although I didn't own this watch for very long, it is a mainstay in my collection. A legendary chronograph watch with a legendary movement from a legendary company. And the last watch from the upper deck is a very affordable one. This is a watch I believe I actually bought this year as well. This is the Seiko 5 Sports, but the 38mm version and not the 42.5mm version. I wanted to try out this cream colored dial 38mm version, and also because I really do like the combination between a white cream colored dial and the black bezel. And I must say, for less than $300 this is, I think it's quite the deal. In-house movement, great bezel action, not the best bracelet, not the best class, but they are starting to make better bracelets, Seiko. So I can definitely recommend this little watch here if you want a beater or you just want a sports watch that doesn't cost too much in your collection. Great little watch, and it comes in a lot of different dial and color variations. And now the lower deck and one of the oldest watches in my collection. And this is my very trusted Takoya Aquaracer. I bought this many years ago in Las Vegas, and it's never been serviced or anything, and it just keeps going strong. Very accurate, a tough watch. You see, I did scratch it because this is my go-to watch for travel and adventure. I always bring this watch with me going traveling, so I dive with it, I go to the desert, to the beach, everything I do with this watch. the classic Takoya Aquaracer layout, a beautiful kind of silvery white dial. And I think it looks really classy, this watch, and it is just a really great performer. So this is a testament to these Aquaracer watches being top quality watches, and a watch I will never part with because I've had so many memories with this beautiful watch. And another Takoya, and this is much more of a legendary Takoya watch or Heuer watch, because when the moniker was first introduced in the 60s, it was actually a Heuer watch. Since then, the company was rebranded Takoya. Just an amazing chronograph watch, especially because of the square case and the blue and red colors. This was worn by Steve McQueen in Le Mans, the movie from 1971, and also by Walter White in Breaking Bad. Just a legendary watch, and one of the most legendary watch designs ever made. Also one of the most legendary chronograph designs ever made, in my opinion. It is a big watch, and it's kind of a strange watch to wear because it is square, but it is actually only 39mm lock tip to lock tip, or in diameter. A little more lock tip to lock tip, sorry, but in diameter only 39mm. So it wears really nicely on the wrist, although it is a big square watch. A really classy and different watch, a very different sports watch in my opinion, and definitely a watch that is staying in my collection because it is a legendary watch. So this is one of my favorite watches in my collection, and it was my very first luxury Swiss watch many years ago, and I just kept it in my collection. It kind of went out of fashion for a few years because it has this very 90s look, but it's actually becoming fashion again, or hot again, because people, they are starting to understand the top quality of these automatic Omega Seamaster watches. And I do really love the blue bezel, and you also see that it's kind of patinaing with the lume, which is quite interesting, as this is super luminova. This is not any other material, so it's quite interesting that it's kind of just becoming a little more cream color, which is quite cool. And the red tip on the second hand is just a really nice little feature as well. I do not like these bracelets on the Newu Seamasters, but on this one I think it's the perfect bracelet. It's such a 90s bracelet. You see a lot of scratches on this one as well. I own 3 Omega watches in my collection right now. This is the second one, and this is of course one of the most legendary ones. This is the Omega Speedmaster Professional, the manual wound one with the Hesselite crystal, this beautifully domed Hesselite crystal. Such a cool watch, and not only just properly, it is, in my opinion, the most legendary dial layout of any chronograph watch ever made. It's just perfectly proportioned. Everything is just made to a great degree of tooliness and readability. Such a great watch, and this is a strap monster, 42mm in diameter. It is a big watch, but it doesn't wear as big as it would suggest, with approximately 50mm lock tip to lock tip. Amazing watch, wears really great on a leather strap as well, and a watch that will stay in my collection forever, also because this is actually not in production anymore, the Speedmaster Professional with the manual wound movement and the Hesselite crystal. Nowadays I believe it's sapphire crystal. And my third Omega in the collection, and one of my most worn watches every year. This is the 2018 Omega Seamaster Diver 300 meter. This is the one with the grey dial and the blue bezel insert, the heat blued hands, which is a nice feature on this one compared to the other colorways. On the beautiful lyre shaped case on the rubber strap. As I said before, I'm not a huge fan of the stainless steel bracelets on these watches, so I decided to get it on a rubber strap. I also did test this watch on a really nice grey strap from Artem straps, the new HydroFlex straps. You can see the video by clicking the link down in the description up in the right hand corner. Amazing strap, and I must say that the Artem strap is just a tad better than the original strap, which is a top quality strap by the way. So amazing watch, and definitely the watch that I wear most during the summer. During winter time here in Scandinavia, when it becomes cold and dark, this isn't really the style I want to wear, but it's very much a spring and summer watch, and I really do enjoy this watch. So now the last 5 watches in my collection, and the Tudor that I bought this year instead of the Black Bay 58. And this is of course the Tudor Galapagos 39, a watch that I really think just brings a lot to the table. I really do like the note date dial. I love the ceramic bezel insert. This beautiful ceramic and loom material. Hour markings material looks really great. The Snowflake hands, and it's made in titanium, 39mm in diameter, the perfect size for a dive watch for me, for my wrist size. Approximately between 39 and 41mm is the perfect size, and you can see it just wears amazing. It also comes with a rubber strap. I never actually did try the rubber strap because I really just enjoyed this oyster style bracelet here from Tudor. And this is also with the T-fit clasp, where you get the micro adjust inside of the clasp. I did a video about this watch with a review of this watch, and also why I swapped this watch for the Black Bay 58. And the funny thing is, these are actually dropping in price, so they are becoming less than retail on Chrono 24, for example. Another grey market, forums and sellers. Great little watch. Now the last 4 watches in my collection, and if you hate Rolex, just stop the video now because there are 4 Rolex watches. This is my Rolex Datejust 41 126300. So really great everyday watch with a lot of sports watch capabilities. Great loom, 100 meters of water resistance, screw down crown, stainless steel bracelet. So although this is kind of a dress watch, it is also a sports watch, and it is very much an everyday watch. It is very much stainless steel, and it's a scratch magnet because everything is polished on this watch except for the outer links on the bracelet. And you see I do scratch the watch a lot, and I smudge the watch a lot because I have just worn it a lot. But this is just a fantastic everyday watch. So accurate, so legible, looks great in any outfit, even shorts, polo shirt, t-shirt, whatever, with a suit, whatever. The big date here with the Cyclops, great loom, just feels amazing on the wrist. I would wish that they made it maybe just a millimeter smaller, maybe just 40mm, and maybe a little shorter lock to lock, but I can't complain because this is one of my most worn watches. The easy link adjustment, giving you approximately 5mm on the go. Just a top watch. I can always recommend this watch, and nowadays they are actually available in a lot of Rolex AD shops, or you just have to wait a little bit, and they are dropping in prices. Still not as low as I bought this watch. I just bought it a few $100 over retail. They're still over retail on the grey market, and a watch I never regretted buying because it's such an amazing watch. And the next Rolex in my collection is of course a Rolex Submariner. You want a Rolex Submariner in your collection. This is the 16613. This is from 2004, so this means that you have some improvements with the movement, and also you have gold all the way through the clasp. The earlier version just had a stainless steel clasp. Beautiful dive watch, 40mm, amazing accuracy, great loom, and just a little bit kind of weird to have gold in a sports watch with 300 meters of water resistance and a screw down crown, and that's what I like with this watch. It's a little bit decadent to mix gold and steel, or just gold and sports watch, kind of melt them together, and I think it's just such a cool thing. This is a watch that divides a lot. A lot do prefer the bluesy. I do like the black one here because it's a little more toned down than the bluesy, but had I all the money in the world, I would also probably own a bluesy because I think it looks great with the kind of purple bluish dial. This is almost 20 years old and is still going very strong. Only one owner before me, and was bought in Denmark as well. Amazing watch. Full review on the channel as well, and also a follow-up review of this watch. And now the very first Rolex ever in my collection. I didn't get it on the oyster style bracelet, but I bought a Jubilee later on because I think it looks great on the Jubilee. This is my GMT Master 16700, the Pepsi watch. This is from 1991, so it's kind of becoming very much a vintage watch, and this is just kind of the core of Rolex for me. This colorway and the amazing wearability of these older Rolex watches. Just look how thin it is. Just look at how classy and really nicely proportioned the cases compared to these maxi cases or super cases. It just hugs the wrist, and these watches were meant to be worn, not to be shown off in Miami or at the bar or anything like newer Rolex watches, and that is what I really enjoy about older Rolex watches. So the last watch in my collection after this one is actually a newer Rolex watch, but not one of the biggest ones. And I must say I do prefer older Rolex watches to newer Rolex watches. These watches were amazing, and the Pepsi bezel insert here is just legendary. I do also have the Oyster bracelet still, so if I want a more kind of toolish look, I put on the Oyster. On the Jubilee it gets a very much a vintage and more dressy look, so I really also do enjoy the fact that I have a Jubilee bracelet, a Rolex Jubilee bracelet in my collection. And flying into the screen now is my latest Rolex purchase. I found a great deal at a Danish grey market dealer, and I must say I'm really happy that I actually chose the Airmaster because it's such a weird watch. It's just a watch that stands out in so many ways in the Rolex collection, and I think it's a great upgrade from the previous version, which was kind of a weird love child between the Explorer, the one with the short hands, and the Milgauss. Just look at the beautiful colors, and I really do like that Rolex they use their corporate green for the Rolex name and the second hand, as well as the corporate yellow for the crown. You don't see that on many Rolex watches. It wears bigger than its size because of the case. This is kind of a smaller super case. Just such a fun watch, and a really great watch during spring and summer because of the colorways. Weird numbering because it is essentially a pilot style watch, but I do think that it's such a strange and weird watch within the Rolex collection, and that is why I just really do enjoy this watch. So this was my state of my watch collection end of 2023. So what are my goals? My goals are to consolidate my collection even more, so maybe a few watches will go. I don't want any more than 20 watches, and right now I have 21, so 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 have to go. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I will be following up this video with the 3 most worn watches in 2023, so stay tuned for that video. Remember to see all the other videos, the reviews of all of these watches, just search in my archives. And if you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing, it is a big help. And it doesn't matter if you're new or you're one of my regular viewers, please do give this video a thumbs up, a like, because it's a huge help. Thanks a lot for a great 2023 here on Time and Crown channel, and I hope you have a great new year and a great 2024. Bye.